I remember my mother telling me about standing at the window with a rifle cocked, aimed at the front of the house. Her older sister on her side, also holding a rifle, waiting to see if anyone would cross that gate, if anyone would dare invade her house. Her 3 younger siblings, children, were hiding behind the furniture. The people who were trying to invade their house knew that both my grandfather and my grandmother were in there. One of the things that my mother told me that still chills me to the bone today was that both she and her sister had 1 bullet in their back pocket. And that bullet had been specifically given to them by my grandfather, who told them that that specific bullet was for them if the men were able to cross the gates and invade the house. And my grandfather's words to them were, "The children they will kill, with you they will play with." My mother was 15. My aunt was 16. It was 1975 and Angola was breaking into a civil war that was sponsored by the great powers of the world. And when my mother told me this, I saw no doubt in her face. And when I asked my grandfather about this, I saw no doubt in his face. So when I saw this news that 130 Sudanese women preferred to commit suicide rather than subjecting themselves to the horrors and the torture of being violated by the RSF in Sudan, there was this terrible clarity in my head about having dealt with people who would have committed that choice if they hadn't had the privilege to survive. And again, like it usually happens to me a lot these days, I find myself cursing the global powers. Because like in Angola in 1975, the war in Sudan is not just being played by the antagonists in that war. The great powers of the world are jostling for the coastline. They are jostling for the gold. They are jostling for all of the raw materials that they could extract. They're jostling for geopolitical influence between Russia and Ukraine and the United Arab Emirates. Because they're black, and because it is Africa, and because there are resources at play, very few people in our international community care. The only point in which they care is when these people manage to extricate themselves from the horrible situation in which they are on and appear on our shores, begging for our mercy. When that happens, the blandishments that we offer of pity, of sorrow, the admonitions against violence, against all warring parties, because of the state of the lives of the civilians disappears like a puff of smoke, and we dehumanize them. Wish I had something more to offer than analysis, but I'm empty on this.